1v1 Leviathan Hive, blue side. We have Cyris, plays a Warlock melee commander with good mobility and awesome disruption. Can also be really tanky with the right war gear. Up against on the red side, it's sk4zi, I believe that's how you say that. As a Plague Champion, starts out ranged combat with his damage over time bolter, can get melee weapons, good versatility and utility, can build turrets and repair, but is slow. Very long map then, east to west, natural victory point for sk4zi towards the southeast, natural for Cyris towards the southwest, and a contested towards the north. Natural powers for both players, two of them. Contested power towards the south, which doesn't usually see any generators, but we'll see. Difficult matchup for the Plague Champion. I think the Warlock, huge mobility advantage, lots of disruption, which generally screws over the Plague Champion early on. He's going to leap on him here and knock him off the cap. There we go. That's the Warlock, right on him with that sword. And he's going to try it. Nope, he's just decapping it. He's going to try and cap this VP, is he? No, he's backing off. Here comes some Chaos Space Marines out of the HQ for sk4zi. Cyris with some Howling Banshees on the field, agile milling it with power melee weapons. You'll chop up those Chaos Space Marines good if they get their hands on them. No double heretics for sk4zi. What has he done? He's built a bunch of generators. 2 generators going up. Dire Avengers for Cyris taking a northern VP. What do we expect then? I thought we were going to see double heretics for sk4zi to try and get some map control, but I guess not. He's gone for some early gens, which suggests he wants to get some havocs or noise marines or something on the field. Cyris, I assume, is going to go double shurikens here, but we might see double rangers. 2-to-1 cap. Warlock tying up these Chaos Space Marines. Here come those heretics. That Plague Champion get a damage over time bolter on the Warlock, who has 690 hit points. Look at the destructor on heretics. Half of their hit points wiped out. Warlock did take a lot of damage though, and the Dire Avengers finishing off those heretics, backing them off. Is he going to keep these guys in this engagement? Looks like he is. Nope, retreats them out. Some rangers up for Cyris. Warlock is staying on the field for now. The node here. Nodes up also for Cyris and 1 gen. Here are the rangers, sniper unit. Good burst damage from range. Can also infiltrate allies with hollow fields and infiltrate themselves also. Disrupt with kinetic pulse, which is awesome too. Can set up banshee runs with it. We'll see what he goes for. Double ranges maybe. Big fan of double ranges myself, not that I can use it personally. Not very good with Eldar, but in the hands of a good player. Back in the day when Harry Potter used to play Eldar, some awesome double ranger play from him. Banshee's going after the node. Plague Champion coming in, trying to get some models of those guys, and we do have havocs up for sk4zi. There is the suppression. Surely we're going to see an aspiring champion on these heretics to stop that destructor being so devastating, if nothing else. Also help him against these banshees, of course. Rangers are setting up, taking models off those heretics with each shot. Really fragile in their default state. Getting forced off there by constant losses. Havoc setting up and suppressing these Dire Avengers from range. They're trying to get around the firing up to throw their grenade. I think sk4zi, recognizing the threat, moves them out, and that's good play. Avoided the grenade, but still in trouble. Can he set up in time to stop these banshees? Looks like he will be able to, and banshees have to retreat. Good pressure from Cyris, but sk4zi dealt with it reasonably well considering what he's up against here. Rangers, Dire Avengers with aspect and banshees. Havoc's taking losses though. Gonna set up right in the face of these Dire Avengers. Their grenades still on cooldown. The aspect gives them a health buff, shield, fleet and grenades. A huge upgrade for them, just 15 power, and Havoc's now down to 1 model. Those rangers already paying for themselves. Look at this, almost half of their XP bar filled up. What is this? Chaos Space Marines capping this natural wreck point, and they have capped it. Warlock back at base alongside the Banshees, who have aspect of strength. Give their Exarch a heavy melee executioner spear. These Chaos Space Marines need to be very careful now. Have Eternal War, you can tell by that plus icon, gives them 20% more damage, both melee and ranged. Good upgrade for them in tier 1, I think, especially if you have double CSM with Eternal War in tier 1. You can really tear stuff down with that. Banshees chasing with those power melee kicks. And Chaos Space Marines get away. sk4zi maintaining good map control. Cyris perhaps a bit too focused on pressuring this VP. Did not hit the gens. So all in all, very good passage of play for sk4zi, I think. Protected his generators, just lost his VP for a while. Lost a couple of Havocs, but he does have an aspiring champion up now. On his Heretics, he is a Chaos Marine, Bolt Pistol and Chainsword. Turns him into a fearsome little melee squad in tier 1. Also acts as a detector to help versus webway gates, and there again the Destructor, even with the aspiring champion, absolutely owned the squad there. They were very punched up while capping and forces them off. They did finish the cap though. 2-1 for sk4zi. Going to be a 2-1 for Cyris. Plague champion taking his natural back, has no war gear. I think Mucus Discharge and Fetid would be good on this map. Such a good cheap little combo for your Plague champion, just 50 power, giving them that instant suppression and area of effect heal. Havoc setting up to cover this victory point. Chaos Space Marines will try to cap. Rangers getting shots. Decent usage of them so far has kept them out of trouble. You want to keep these guys at their maximum range. And a Blood Crusher on the way for sk4zi. Yes, that's a quick one. Cyris though is also tier 2, and the Banshees getting their Exarch. Infiltrated by Hollow Fields, and they'll be stopped by the Havocs. There it is. Exarch is purchased and up, but she retreats out alongside the squad. Dire Avengers might try to flank around. Chaos Space Marines close to losing more of those Rangers, but they do get away. The Warlock, no war gear. Plague Champion also no war gear. Blood Crusher is going to hit the field. How is Cyris going to respond? Maybe some Fire Dragons, which we don't see very often. 479, 434. Maybe Warp Spiders with their Haywire alongside the Banshees. Warlock taking a big risk, trying to leap onto those Havocs, but he already used his passive leap. Has a 15-second cooldown, I believe. He might have just been able to trying to tie it up, knowing that his leap was off cooldown. Either way, didn't pay off, and loses his Warlock. Will need to repurchase, of course. He's gone for a Wraith Lord. Here comes that Blood Crusher. A vehicle demon kind of thing. Has vehicle armor but acts like a demon in the way that it is affected by worship, which we've seen none of so far from sk4zi. No worship at all. Takes out a Ranger model. Good DPS from this thing. Almost 100 heavy melee DPS, though no splash. And only 600 hit points on a melee vehicle. It can go down very quickly. Doom Blast and retreat from the Heretics, and the Plague Champion finishes that cap. Has a double now. 435, 434. The epic Banshee chase. Are they going to hit gens? I think they should. They might decap instead. Here comes the Blood Crusher. With some support, Banshees with Aspect of Strength can take one down. But I don't think they want to by themselves. 415, 434. Dire Avengers with their Aspect. Sorry, their Exarch leader. There he is. Banshees retreating out. In fact, did not finish the decap. Havoc still marching around, and here is the Wraith Lord Walker vehicle for Eldar. Nasty melee splash, and a Bright Lance on the shoulder now. Doesn't have 100% accuracy on the move though at the moment. In 2.2 it's set to get that, which is going to be a hugely powerful upgrade for the Wraith Lord. At the moment it has 50% accuracy while moving. As you can see, staying still there, so it gets to 100%, and the Blood Crusher, look at the damage it took. That Wraith Sword is also pretty nasty. Huge benefit compared to other walkers in that it gets its ranged upgrade and doesn't lose its heavy melee splash with its big ass sword. The Chaos and Space Marine Dreadnought and Grey Knight Dreadnought do not have splash damage when they have one of their arms upgraded to a ranged weapon. 405, 433, 2-to-1 cap. Tier 3 for sk4zi. He's done so well with map control. Just not what I was expecting at all. Just kept up and down this south side. Plague Champion is being caught, knocked down by the Howling Banshees. Special attack. Wraith Lord is in retreat path. This might be a dead Plague Champion. In fact, surely it will. Has he avoided the Wraith Lord? Wow, gets away. Unbelievable. Did not think he was going to get out of there. Very, very lucky. Or does he get away? That shuriken cannon on the wrist is still peppering him, but does get away. Now the Blood Crusher going after the Wraith Lord, and that is a las cannon getting a big shot on there. This Wraith Lord's going to go down. Excellent play from sk4zi. Cyris obviously not expecting that las cannon upgrade, thinking he'd keep the heavy bolter for suppression, which is what I was thinking. The Wraith Lord does get away just about, or does it? Blood Crusher's chasing. A couple more hits and then it'll go, and down it does go. Big, big victory for sk4zi. Does Cyris have a hope now? Down goes the Warlock as well. Only consolation he has is that there's no heavy bolter to screw up these Howling Banshees. Still has Heretics and a Blood Crusher to deal with though. And I imagine sk4zi is going to decap this VP, maybe even hit this power. So this is bad, bad news for Cyris, who goes tier 3. sk4zi already there, and he has tons of resources. Could get a super unit out soon, or save up his red for Terminators, get a couple of Predators instead. Las cannon's going to set up, try and hit some gens here, I think. 405, 388, 1-to-1 cap. Blood Crusher pretty decent at hitting gens. A good single target DPS. Las cannon also taking chunks of health off, and Cyris is going to fight him head on here. Blood Crusher has done very well so far, almost level 2. Can be quite difficult to level up these guys because they're not doing splash damage, so they're not affecting loads of units at once. There's a Demonic Roar. Howling Banshee taking tons of damage, has rather struggled to make these guys effective, I think. Look at the Fire Dragons though. Short range, anti-everything squad with that speed buff, which doesn't affect their damage anymore. Look at the damage they're doing to that Blood Crusher. That is crazy. Down it goes. Did not last very long, did it? Fire Dragons doing their job. As I said, don't see them very often. In fact, I cannot remember the last time I saw Fire Dragons in a match, either casted or one that I've played. As you saw, they're incredibly effective versus that Blood Crusher. A great unclean one on the way, which is super heavy infantry. So those melter guns that the Fire Dragons use, I'm not sure what their in lore name is for Fire Dragons. I'm assuming they're not called melter guns, but that's how they act in terms of Dawn of War 2. Going after this Plague Champion using that 100% cover energy shield. Plague Champion does finish the cap though. 354, 388 is a single. Warlock decaps that, so it's going to be a 2-to-1 eventually for sk4zi. No, it isn't. North is being decapped. It's going to be a 2-to-1 for Cyris. And all of a sudden it's looking a lot better for him, because sk4zi has this almost completely redundant las cannon now. Las cannons are hugely powerful weapons, but cannot hit infantry reliably. So he can pretty much hit gens with it and not much else. Maybe takes down some webway gates if we can find them. 351, 385. Now generators are being hit. The first real gen push we've seen from Cyris. Marco Zinch CSM with Aspiring Champion and a ton of war. These guys are putting out some serious anti-infantry damage, and almost level 2 as well. Howling Banshees hitting gens, Rangers getting shots in though. Fire Dragons, such a nice little unit, good damage to all targets from short range. Here come Heretics, the Warlock with the Merciless Witchblade and Cloak of Shadows. I thought for sure he was going to go for Witchblade of Kurnus to Ethereal slash the crap out of those Heretics. Here comes a great unclean one. Super unit for Chaos, hugely tough. Over 6,000 hit points of super heavy infantry armor. There is the Vomit, boom. Passively damages nearby enemies and is a greater demon, so you can worship this guy and really add to his survivability, forcing off all of that stuff. Surprisingly, perhaps, Nurgle worship is the worst type of worship for the Great Unclean One, since it doesn't have a secondary effect for demons, unlike Khorne with the speed buff and Zinch with the infiltration. Nurgle worship will just give the basic health and energy regen buffs, but of course it does boost the health regen of infantry as well. 351, 332, tier 3 for Cyris. How is he going to respond to a Great Unclean One? I'm assuming with we're going to see double fire prisms here. But we'll see. We see that passive damage to the Banshees there. That is a special attack, that vomit, and forces them off. Doesn't do a huge amount of single target damage, the Great Unclean One, but against blobs of melee units he is devastating with Cloud of Flyers, passive damage, and that splash damage as well. Webway Gate being used. The Warlock's Webway Gate able to heal infantry, which makes it very effective. With the second gate at your base, Great Unclean One tries to vomit, but misses everything. Was this the right choice against very, very quick Eldar units? Is he going to be able to be effective? Maybe just use it as a big damage sponge. And look at this, we have Chaos Terminators on the field with Twin Link Bolters and Power Fists shooting up the node. These guys can get Lightning Claws and an auto cannon. Also passively demoralize enemies with each kill. Great Unclean One has found a Webway Gate, is trying to eat it, but it's just going to blow up instead. There we go. Plague Champion making do with no Wargate at all, just using his general survivability, 680 hit points at level 1, and his damage over time bolted to be a constant annoyance up and down his south side. Takes out a Ranger model. Cyris is going to lose this squad if he's not careful. Another one goes down. He's obviously paying attention to this engagement here, but they do get away. Cyris, what is he up to? There's the first fire prism, as I'd expected. Double fire prisms could be a huge pain in the arse for sk4zi if he can get them out, because we have Lightning Claw Terminators, which on this map I think is a mistake. We'll see. If he catches those Banshees, they're not going to last long, but is he going to catch them? Warlock going after the Heretics. Lightning Claws are a devastating power melee weapon, 70 DPS power melee with a 12 power melee splash, as you can see from the tooltip there. Absolutely shred all infantry in melee combat, but of course they completely forego any kind of ranged weapon. Do get a nice health buff though, the Chaos Terminators, when they get their claws up to 4,500. Some Nurgle worship, which you've rarely seen in this game, which will be healing up the Plague Champion, the Great Unclean One I should say, and all of this infantry, including the Plague Champion himself. And down go all these gens. Here is the Fire Prism. Excellent fire support for Eldar. Long range, has a spread shot and a focus shot. sk4zi's not backing off. Leading a line with that Great Unclean One and just makes Cyris back off there. He's floating a lot. sk4zi could get a tank right now, and I'm quite surprised that he's not really. Markers each tank would put a lot of pressure on that Fire Prism. Where are his Havocs? Here they are. Maybe he's trying to bait this Fire Prism back there. If you get a rear armor hit on this thing with a las cannon, it's going to do so much damage. He's going after it with the Lightning Claws. 218, 282. Warlock going after him, a very brave Warlock. Look at the damage that shot did to those Terminators from the Fire Prism. They were all bunched up, it hit every model I think. Now he's gone to the focus shot. These Fire Dragons doing really well. And Terminator's losing a model, and that's very expensive to reinforce. 100 rec, 50 power to reinforce Chaos Terminators. Could finish off the Warlock with Foul Snare, but doesn't do it there. 205, 282. Rangers getting shots. And Cyris is capping sk4zi's natural. It's going to be a 2-1 for him. sk4zi getting a bit preoccupied with pushing that VP. Now realizes that he needs to keep his map control going. Great Unclean One now has a very long walk back to safety. He's been chased by Fire Dragons and a Fire Prism. 205, 273. Howling Banshees have caught these Havocs. This is the end for them. A couple of special attacks, but weren't really needed, and down they go. Banshees leveling to what? To 3. Up to 1074 hit points. 205, 263. Looks like the Great Unclean One will be okay. Has lost about half, over half of his hit points in fact. Is he going to go all the way back to base to get worshipped? Looks like he might have to. 205, 262. Chaos Dreadnought on the way for sk4zi. Decent choice. I assume he's going for Marco Zinch here. Did they use their teleport to go after this fire prism? That is crazy if they did. Where are those fire dragons? Get on them. 205, 257. I think he did. That was a crazy, crazy choice. Here's some Nurgle worship. And Terminators are going to lose another model if this fire prism keeps chasing, but it doesn't chase. A huge mistake. What's he afraid of? Took out the Havocs. Warlock now in retreat. 205, 247. Really should have chased those Terminators, I think. Could have got one more model. And here is the Chaos Dreadnought going for Markov's Inch. Will get a very powerful missile launcher. That fire prism needs to be very careful now. It's long range as well. 205, 236. There's that spread shot on the Chaos Space Marines, and they get away with only one loss. That was pretty lucky, I think. Howling Banshees coming into their own in late game, getting that very important cap, wiping those Havocs. And here is that Chaos Dreadnought. Is he going to survive though? Because the Banshees can tie it up with those Fire Dragons there as well. Needs to be careful. Fire Dragons absolutely roasting those generators. Good grief. Down they go. Rangers capping. Cyris coming back into this very, very well. Now we have a melee plague champion, Plague Fist, Armor of Pestilence, and I assume Icon of Nurgle, but we might see Mucus Discharge. We'll see what happens. 205, 206. I don't think that's an especially good choice at this stage, but we will see. I suppose he's hoping to put pressure on the Banshees with that Plague Champion. Not really going to touch the Fire Dragons or the Fire Prism if Cyris is paying attention. There's the triple cap, 205, 187, and the Avatar of Cain is on the way for Cyris. Here comes a Dreadnought. Can it make a difference here? Chaos Space Marines getting tied up, knocked over by the Warlock. There is Cloud of Flies from the Great Unclean One, damage over time, and knockback around it. Warlock gets away, that power completely wasted. Fire Prism needs to back the heck off here. Doesn't want to eat a couple of volleys from that Zinch Dread. 205, 134 has a triple cap Cyris, and Rangers being very annoying, going to decap this fully matured Wreck Point. And look at this, the Avatar of Cain on the field. Super unit for Eldar, passively buffs nearby allies, and powerful in melee combat as well. Tough, not quite as tough as the Great Unclean One and can't be worshipped, but very tough nonetheless. Fire Prism has been used well by Cyris. 205, 95. Terminators on capping duty. Rangers decap the Wreck Point, so annoying at this stage. Very slow Plague Champion having to try and deal with them. Armor of Pestilence makes him even slower, and he's gone for Mucus Discharge, so he can support his Terminators with the heal. I think it's not the most powerful heal ever though. I'm not sure if it scales with the Plague Champion's level. I don't think it does. And we're going to see a huge engagement here. This might be very, very telling. The Plague Champion not here to take part. Avatar, Fire Dragons, Fire Prism versus Great Unclean One, Terminators and Dreadnought with those Banshees in there as well. Great Unclean One is low. Avatar going after him. There is Wailing Doom. Going to send those Terminators flying if it hits them. Look how far it sent them. Zinch Dread getting shots on the Fire Prism. Needs to be careful. Those Direct Rangers are not repairing. Warlock trying to tie it up, I think. Fire Prism needs to run away. Going to go down, and does go down. That is a big, big blow for Cyris. Need to replace it immediately. 192.68. Just took his eye off it for a second, and that Zinch missile launcher did its job. Huge damage from long range on that thing. 186.68, and sk4zi, no, he's not going to get a 2 tons. Look at this. Rangers doing her job. Level 2 and are decapping the VP. Might even be able to cap it, but that's on a Plague Champion. Moseys his way over there. Look how slow he is with that Armor of Pestilence. Really not sure that was the right choice on this map. 177.68. Fire Dragons are going to wipe, and that is a big loss, are they? Level 2, and they get away. Wow. 169.68. Both super units quite low. sk4zi takes the VP. Rangers being sneaky, that was a big mistake. He did not need to try and retreat through there. There were no detectors, could have just snuck around, but loses those Rangers. That levels the kill Space Marines to 3. And we do have a replacement Fire Prism for Cyris. If he had double Fire Prisms now, he would be in such a good position. 12968, there's a double cap for sk4zi, who's floating a lot. Could get a Predator. Terminators are going to use their teleport, I think, to put pressure on this VP alongside that Plague Champion there. Warlock, what level is this guy? Level 2, has Cloak of Shadows also. 10568. Pressure from sk4zi. Fire Dragon's getting shots, but look at the damage from that vomit. Wow, has used the Great and Clean One reasonably well, you must say. sk4zi. Fire Prism took a lot of damage. This Marco's Shred kicking ass. Level 2 already. Been in one engagement basically. Heretics repairing. Are these guys? No, they're not level 4, level 3. sk4zi might get a triple cap here, and this could be the end. That Fire Prism loss was so vital. This really lost the momentum after that engagement. Cyris. And I suppose the Plague Champion can just chill out here. So his Armor of Pestilence, lack of mobility is not going to become an issue if he just guards this VP. So in the end, perhaps a good choice by sk4zi. Avatar's healed up. There is a Wailing Doom. Heretics are going to get absolutely owned here. CSM almost wiped as well. Down goes the Marco's Dreadnought. Down go the Chaos Space Marines. Huge engagement for Cyris. 3468. But can he cap fast enough? There are those Lightning Claw Terminators going after the Avatar. Needs to turn and engage him or something. What is it doing? 1768 is going to lose this game because he's not capping. Doesn't matter if he takes his natural back. Needs to take 2. Great and Clean One still around. There's a special attack on those Fire Dragons. Passive damage as well. And there is the game for sk4zi. Lost almost everything at the end, but holds on in VPs. And what an awesome game. Well played by both players. sk4zi really impressing, containing this Warlock with his Plague Champion on this map. Thanks for watching guys, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.